Greetings and grand rising. Thank you all for coming through to the Queen Tulsa Show. Listen here, we are live from, actually, we're streaming from YouTube. We are streaming from Instagram. We are streaming from Facebook. So listen here, you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. This is Queen City Radio. And without further ado, shout out to Texas. Let's go.
Tony Coles.
Hey, safe to say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments. Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in foreigns. I'm heartless, cause these niggas is hating on me just because I'm the biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest. 30K on my riches for hard times. These niggas just mad cause they in my archives. Jordan came back to the 4-5. If you play then you lay right there by your own kind. Pull up a 4 with a loco, tell them run this bitch back like so-so. Got this rap here in the chokehold. Did a show out in Austin, shout out to Bobo. Moved out the trenches, now look how we live. Tell my BM to furnish the crib. Walk out the mall with some shoes for the kids. Deposit the checks from my bank full of M's. Paid up my rent, now I'm up for the year. The view look crazy from here. What I paid for some dogs could've bought me veneers. Texas piece on my neck could've bought your career. Safe to say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into our first story of the day. So, the first story of the day is going to show video shows final confused moments of survivors of U.S. boat strike in Caribbean. Say sources. Okay, U.S. military. First strike on drug boat in Caribbean detailed lawmakers' reactions to video split along party lines. U.S. frames attacks as war with drug cartels, citing threats to Americans. When the U.S. military carried out its first strike against a suspected drug boat in the Caribbean on September the 2nd, the attack began with an airburst munition exploding above the 11-member crew like an umbrella of shrapnel. A video of the attack shown to U.S. lawmakers on Thursday and described to Reuters by two sources familiar with imagery showed smoke clearing and two men who had somehow lived through the blast, clinging to a severed section of the front of the vessel in a futile effort to survive. Now, listen here. They were shirtless, unarmed, and carried no visible communications equipment. They also appeared to have no idea what had just hit them, or the U.S. military was weighing whether to finish them off. The video follows them for about an hour as they tried to flip the boat back over. They couldn't do it, one source said. Admiral Frank Bradley, who was the head of the Joint Special Operations Command at the time, concluded that the wreckage was likely being kept afloat because there was cocaine inside and could drift. There was cocaine inside and could drift long enough to be recovered, said the sources. So Bradley decided that in order to complete the mission assigned by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and neutralize the threat posed by the drug boat, he would need to attack the vessel again. The video showed 3 additional munitions being fired at the damaged vessel, said the sources. You could see their faces, bodies, then boom, boom, boom. The first source said the video was shown behind closed doors on Capitol Hill by Bradley and General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The reactions of the lawmakers who viewed it split along party lines, with Democrats voicing distress but Republicans defending the strike as illegal. It was the first 22 attacks on drug vessels carried out by the U.S. military as part of the Trump administration's campaign to stem the flow of illegal drugs into the United States. The strikes have killed 87 people, with one carried out in Eastern Pacific on Thursday. I saw 2 survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with drugs bound for the United States back over so they could stay in the fight, said Tom Cotton of Arkansas, the Republican chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. He said Bradley and Hegseth did exactly what was expected of them, but Representative Jim Himes of Connecticut, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, told reporters after the briefing it was one of the most troubling things he had seen. Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island, the top Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee, said he was deeply disturbed by the video and said it should be released to the public. Now, listen here. We have a lot going on and we got a lot of stories coming up for you. But listen here, we want to definitely thank you all for taking out the time to um, listen to the Queen City Radio. And so, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break and we're going to be right back. You already know we got to pay some sponsors. We'll be right back.
Car ain't got no roof. I can't hear you. Car ain't got no roof. We be in the city. In the city. All my bitches with it. Oh, where your hoe at? Oh, where your hoe at? We be in the city. All my bitches with it. Where you be at? My crib's in the city. My blood's in the bitty. Guns up in Rambo house. Blocks in that bando house. Yeah. Chopper come from Yucatan. You the man. You the man. I'm sitting up in it, do the man. Don't make me spray it, Uzi, man. Pop shit, you get pop quick. No roof, just drop sick. Rock crew, we rock shit.
All right. Oh, well, you what? All right. Now, listen here. Get into this next story right here. I want to say that it is a victory. Hello. It is a victory. Grand jury rejects new mortgage fraud indictment against New York Attorney General Letitia James. Okay. Now, let's get into it. The department failed Thursday to secure a new indictment against New York Attorney General Letitia James after a judge dismissed the previous mortgage fraud prosecution encouraged by President Donald Trump, according to people familiar with the matter. Prosecutors went back to a grand jury in Virginia after a judge's ruling halting the prosecution of James and another longtime Trump foe, former FBI Director James Comey, on the grounds that the U.S. attorney who represented the cases was illegally appointed. But grand jurors rejected prosecutors' request to bring charges. It's the latest setback for the Justice Department in its bid to prosecute the frequent political target of the Republican president. Prosecutors are expected to try again for an indictment, according to one person familiar with the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to publicly discuss the case. All right, so James was initially charged with bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution in connection with a home purchase in Norfolk, Virginia. In 2020, Lindsay Halligan, a former White House aide and Trump lawyer, personally presented the case to the grand jury in October after being installed as U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, amid pressure from Trump to charge Comey and James. James has denied any wrongdoing and accused the administration of using the justice system to seek revenge against Trump's political opponents. In a statement Thursday, James said, "It is time for this unchecked weaponization of our justice system to stop." Okay, this should be the end of this case. Her attorney, Abby Lau, said in a statement, "If they continue Undeterred by a court ruling and a grand jury's rejection of the charges, it will be a shocking assault on the rule of law and a devastating blow to the integrity of our justice system. The allegations related to James' purchase of a modest house in Norfolk, where she has family. During the sale, she signed a standard document called a second home rider, in which she agreed to keep the property primarily for her personal use and enjoyment for at least 1 year unless the lender agreed otherwise. Rather than using the home as a second residence, James rented it out to a family of three, allowing her to obtain favorable loan terms not available for investment properties, prosecutors alleged. It is the latest example of pushback. But by grand jurors since the beginning of the second Trump administration, is so unusual for grand jurors to refuse to return an indictment that it was once said that prosecutors could persuade a grand jury to indict a ham sandwich. But the Justice Department has faced setbacks in front of grand juries in several recent cases. All right, so listen here. It's a lot going on there, honey. Now, before we go ahead and get into our next story, you already know we gotta pay some bills. We will be right back.
That, like that. Bounce your ass like that, like that. Bounce that ass like that, like that. Bend over, let me see it from the back, like Beyonce, like Trina, like a big booty ass black diva, like a stripper, up and down like flipper. Bend over, let me see it from the back. Double shots of Hennessy, let it get you groovy. Gon' work your ass, do your thing, I'ma do me. I done switch the doors in the switch, you got a room key. Act like you auditioning for a video or movie. Bend toward the floor, I want your hands where your toes be. I'ma squeeze out on your booty, all nasty. Done made 18, girl, I'm legal, you can harass me. Cash in the beamer, I can't seem to find a bad be. A big fat ass like Trina, make me happy. See this shake that, shake, vibrate while she dancing. Like the shake her
All
ass like
right,
Sierra,
and
real
we
fancy. Wonder can Sierra shake
back.
that ass on his last piece.
Listen
Bitches
here,
say she think it's shit,
like that. I know Letitia James is over there celebrating her victory. So you guys make sure if you're out there and you see Miss Letitia James, you just give her a thumbs up and you just tell her to keep on moving. Well, listen here, keep on moving. Do you guys remember that situation that happened in the elevator with Beyonce, Solange, and Jay-Z? Well, listen here. Designer reveals what allegedly triggered Solange and Jay-Z's elevator confrontation. A fashion designer claims Jay-Z Met Gala compliments sparked the infamous Solange elevator incident, revealing new details 11 years later. Fresh details have surfaced about the Solange Jay-Z Met Gala elevator incident, with designer Oscar G. Lopez now pointing to a new perspective behind the drama. A decade after one of the pop culture's most infamous red carpet moments, Lopez provided his thoughts on what he thinks happened the night everything went left at the Met Gala. In a recent interview with Daily Mail, Lopez revealed that it was a result of a simple compliment that allegedly helped spark the entire meltdown. According to Lopez, it all started on the steps of the Met Gala. He claims Jay-Z gave a compliment to Rachel Roy, who was wearing a custom black lace gown. That was designed by Lopez. I think that Jay complimented her about the gown, and Beyonce's sister felt that it was not proper. So it was kind of a drama there, Lopez said. Security camera footage later shows Solange pushing Jay Z into a corner of an elevator. As guards tried to intervene, Beyonce looked on without stepping in. Lopez saw it as an unexpected career boost. Any press is good press, he said. Plainly, sometimes you benefit from a scandal, not even being a part of it. Let's just call it collateral damage. The irony, that same night was supposed to be Roy's fashion breakthrough. Fresh off a winning Project Runway Under the Gun, she tapped Lopez with less than 2 weeks to design one of one look, honey. So what she's saying is, honey, I done went out here and I done spent time, effort, dedication. This was supposed to be her moment. You know what I'm saying? However, Lopez says that Roy arrived late at the carpet and missed photos on the museum steps when the elevator headlines exploded. However, photos of the gown went viral anyway. The dress was all over the news, Lopez recalled. In the end, the designer believes the night delivered exactly what it was supposed to. Fashion fame and a moment no one could ignore. However, before this explanation surfaced, the internet has spent years filling in the blanks on its own. When the elevator security footage first leaked, social media went into overdrive. Hilarious memes flooded timelines. Moreover, the moment turned Solange's confrontation with Jay-Z into one of the most replayed and joked about moments in pop culture history. Baby, you had to be there to note about this, okay? Listen here. That was definitely a moment that we cannot forget. Now let's get into this. So, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erica Jane body shamed Sutton Stracke. In season 15 premiere, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills stars Sutton and Erica Jane's relationship has always been bumpy. Just when it seems they could become friends, they start feuding again. And girl, y'all, get into this. It has been messy and nasty at times, and we all know that. Last season, Sutton and Durrett, they continuously butted heads, leading to some vicious exchanges. As you may recall, Durrett had separated from her husband, PK, and was having a tough time. In addition, Erica accused Sutton of liking to kick a dog when they're down. The petty mess singer also called out Sutton's actions for being inconsistent. However, now Erica has sunk to a new low. Oh my God, are y'all watching? Listen here, the drama is definitely going on Bravo. Child, Bravo then kicked it up a notch. The girls are definitely working for their checks. Now, listen here, speaking of the spotlight and working for a check, Khloe Kardashian, ho ho horny holiday, blow by blow Xmas party tips. Get into this. One thing about Khloe Kardashian, she does not fear the X-rated, and yep, she went straight for it, handing out festive season relationship tips that somehow turned into blowy talk. Do you know what I'm talking about? During a festive Kimsmas Live on Kim's TikTok Wednesday, Chloe hyped up a fan to get lit at the holiday party, hook up with her crush, and give him a blowy in the closet, sending momager Kris Jenner into a full blown horror. Kris, flanked by Kylie Richards and Kathy Hilton, nearly passed out, reminding Chloe this was a family show. Chloe quickly corrected her, saying it's TikTok, then carried right on chatting about blowjobs like it was no biggie. She wrapped it all up with some heartfelt wisdom, telling the fan if she wanted to give the guy she fan- she fancied a blowjob in the closet during the Xmas party, he'd most definitely say yes. Okay, noted. So there you have it. Why not try Chloe's blowies for the holidays? Something tells us Kris is already drafting the branding deck in sheer panic. What are y'all thoughts? I mean, listen here. She's gonna make a buck. Listen, Kris is going to get blood from a rock. But let's get into it now. I love me some Glorilla. Glorilla reveals where she and Young Thug stand after jail call this. Okay, now peep this out. Glorilla recently reflected on a conversation she had with Young Thug after he roasted her appearance in a leaked jail call. In September of this year, a few Young Thug jail I'm sorry, y'all. But do y'all remember when those jail calls? I mean, it was just like one after one after one. It was like a domino effect. So we kept getting those jail calls. But in September of this year, a few of Young Thug's jail calls leaked online, exposing him for bashing several of his peers. Get into it. One of these peers was Glorilla, whose appearance he did during a conversation with his girlfriend, Mariah, the scientist. Well, at the time. That B is ugly as F. They say she ain't ugly. Man, that B ain't nothing. He declared at the time, long a bullish, a wig skinny ish, goddamn big head, big mouth. I would not pursue her like at all. That ish ain't nothing. Shortly after the jail call surfaced, Glow responded with a simple tweet. Mind you, this the same Igga blowing my phone up to ask what color my eyes is. LMAOO, she wrote. Eventually, Young Thug apologized, claiming that he didn't really mean what he said and that he was just struggling behind bars. First of all, I'm sorry to you for my words, and I honestly don't think you're ugly at all. I was speaking from jail, just having a hard time with life. I don't like bashing girls and hardly ever did. He tweeted, I'm sorry to you, twin. Ciao. Anyhow, it was it was a lot going on. If y'all heard those Joe calls, baby, it was definitely a lot going on. But listen here, I do want to cover this story right here because do you all know Ramika? Well, the young lady that had deleted her after she had taken her son to school. Well, the woman is now facing charges. Ramika Blackman, murder. Woman charged in killing ordered to remain in custody. Okay. All right, now get into it. Quadasia Holly Johnson will remain in custody after being charged with first degree murder in the shooting of Ramika Blackman outside a South Loop school. Police say Johnson shot Blackman on September the 8th after a fight tied to both women sharing children with the same man. Blackman's family had requested why Johnson was not charged immediately after the shooting. The woman charged with killing Ramika Blackman appeared in court Thursday and was ordered to remain in custody after Blackman was gunned down when dropping her son off at a school loop school earlier this year. All right. Article goes on to say dozens of supporters showed up at the Cook County Courthouse for the detention hearing wearing pink in support of Blackman. I just want justice, Blackman's mother said. I don't want to fight with nobody. I don't want to argue with nobody. I just want justice for my daughter. The suspect, 31-year-old Quadasia Holly Johnson, who is pregnant, is due back in court on December 23rd. Carlos Smith, the father of both Quadasia Johnson and Ramika Blackman's children, is breaking his silence. He didn't say much, but he was there when the shooting unfolded. Smith says some of the details being shared by witnesses don't match what actually happened. What we know. Now get into this. Get in real close. Johnson is accused of shooting and killing Blackman, also 31, on September the 8th, near Cermak Road and State Street. Johnson was arrested around noon on Wednesday in Des Plaines. On Thursday morning, she was charged with one count of first-degree murder. Blackman's death followed a fight outside the school captured in police scanner audio that described a disturbance and reports of a woman seen holding a gun. Prosecutors say Johnson had never met Blackman in person, even though she filed an unserved order of protection against her in December 2024, claiming threats through family members. The news outlet TIA report that both women shared children with the same man who was present during, well, her name was Tia Ewing, reports that both women shared children with the same man who was present during the confrontation. Johnson was initially detained after the shooting and released soon afterwards. Blackman's family later questioned why charges were not filed at the time. They also noted that Johnson had previously filed protective orders against Blackman dating back to December 2024 and as recently as the summer, which they believe were meant to build a paper trail against her. The backstory. On September the 8th, investigators say Johnson and the father of her child were near his home. He drove Johnson to 20 West Cermak where her car was parked. They placed their 6-month-old into Johnson's car. Around the same time, Blackman had just dropped off her son at a nearby school and drove to the area. Witnesses told police the women argued. They reported the father pushing Johnson away and Blackman standing with her arms crossed. They say he then slammed a car door on Blackman and put her in a chokehold. Prosecutors say Johnson broke free and shot Blackman once, paused, then fired 2 more times. Police recovered 3 9mm casings Johnson legally owned the gun and claimed self-defense. Prosecutors say Blackman was unarmed. Her son turned 7 years old days after the shooting and was still asking where his mom was. The other side. For the first time, we are hearing from the father at the center of a fatal confrontation. Carlos Smith shared children with 2 women, and now one of them is charged with murdering the other. He was the man on the scene when this tragic shooting unfolded. When I heard it, I'm just looking, it was unbelievable. But I was there. And I know for a fact none of that happened. How they just explained it, but my truth will get out there. And I hope everybody understands that's really it. I can't even say too much right now, because it's just gonna feel like I'm going against them. They going against me. We just going back and forth. But the truth is gonna come out, Smith said. Blackman's mother is now left raising her 7-year-old grandson. I just want justice for my daughter, and I want peace in my family. Blackman's mother, Tina Miller, said this has been such a hard 3 months. It's been painful. I mean, we've been torn apart. One of the leaders of our family, she was the baby, but she was the leader. The holidays are not holidays. I'm just grateful to God. Carlos may be hurt for the rest of his life, but we make sure he sees rainbows in his clouds, Blackman's sister Drika said. Okay, nothing will ever change about that. There is nothing he needs that we cannot provide. He is perfectly well. He is happy. He is thriving. And even when he feels his lowest, we pull him out of it together like we do with each other. He's a superstar like his mom. He's going to show her better than he could tell her. Listen here. When I tell you that little boy losing his mom at a young age, this song right here had come up, and I want to share this song with Romika's son and you all as well. So, as we listen to the song, we're just going to think about Romika. We're going to think about her son and what she will want for him. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right. All right. All right. So that is actually DMX. The name of that song is A Letter to My Son. And when I like, I don't know, that was very fitting for the moment. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, very fitting. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our next topic. Man who says he had an affair with Anna Wash takes the stand in her husband Brian's murder trial. We quickly became friends, then confidants, and not before long started an intimate relationship, William Fasto testified. Cell phone records detail Brian Walsh's locations and internet searches. Massachusetts State Trooper Connor Keefe, a digital cell phone forensic analyst, returned to the stand following the lunch break. Keefe told prosecutors that he extracted data from an iPhone 13 mini and an iPhone SE. Both phones were registered to Diana Walsh and Brian's Walsh mother with a Swampscott address. The account holder pays for the phone. However, investigators believe that Brian used both phones. Between the two phones, there were 50 to 60,000 native locations tracked. During testimony, Keefe outlined specific locations to the jury. iPhone SE with phone number ending in number 8028, January the 1st, 2023 at 5:07 p.m. The landing at Venon Square Apartments Complex at 330 Paradise Road in Massachusetts, known to be Diana Walsh's residence. January 1st, 2023 at 5:41 p.m., Lowe's Home Improvement in Danvers, MA. January 1st, 2023 at 6:24, parking lot of CVS in Danvers, MA. January 1st, 2023 at 6:53 p.m., Stop and Shop in Swampscott. January 1st, 2023 at 8:31 p.m., 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway in Cohasset. January the 2nd, 2023 at 9:30 a.m., Home Goods TJ Maxx parking lot in Norwell. Prosecutors then moved to native locations found on the iPhone 13 mini with a phone number ending in 8646. It was the phone number Brian primarily used. January the 2nd, 2023 at 4:15 p.m., entrance of the parking lot of Home Depot in Rockland. January 2nd, 2023 at 5:14 p.m., the Derby Street shops near Shake Shack in Hineham. January 2nd, 2023 at 6 p.m., Stop and Shop Plaza in Cohasset. January 2nd, 2023 at 6:13, Walgreens and Shaw's Plaza in Cohasset. So these are just showing like timestamps, but Kafee said police were able to verify Brian's locations using license plate readers. He was also able to distinguish the area near the trash compactor by comparing the location to a previous visit to the Swampscott complex, which showed him in a different location of the building. Next, prosecutors brought up a report showcasing the Safari internet search history of the iPhone 13 mini, which investigators are trying to Brian. All right, so I know that case is going on. I started it on the first day and then I switched service providers. And so we're definitely going to get back on that case. But that case was very interesting. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into some sports. Uh, different than even when I was there. Devin McCourtney's take on Patriots fan support in 2025 season. Being in that atmosphere after two bad seasons, you could see the fans were like, man, we thought we were going to have to wait maybe 15 years to be good again. Devin McCourty's take on the resurgent Patriots after suffering four losing seasons in 5 years following the departure of Tom Brady. The Patriots are back in 2025. New England is currently 11-2 on a 10-game winning streak. Led by second-year quarterback and MVP candidate Drake May, the Patriots seem to be returning to the NFL's upper echelons. Okay? Now listen here. Former Patriots safety Devin McCourty, speaking in a recent interview on the Dan Patrick Show, had an interesting perspective on the reaction of New England fans to the team's resurgence. In an AFC this year where it's wide open, the Patriots are just as good as anybody, said the now NBC Sports analyst of New England's Super Bowl odds. They have right now the best chance to me because being there for ooh being there on Monday, the atmosphere is different than even when I was there. When I was there, it was we're expected to be here. We'll show up in the AFC Championship and cheer. If the game's close, we'll go crazy and help you out. All right, so listen here. Shout out to the Patriots and shout out to their winning streak. Oh, yes, it's a lot going on out there. Shout out to, but you know what? When they are doing that football and stuff, I just don't see how like they could be playing in that cold. I guess it's like an adrenaline rush or something like that, but let's get into it. All right, so listen here. News in Tulsa. Uh-oh, well maybe not. All right, so let's see. All right, you guys. So y'all know 50 Cent has dropped his oh my good. Thank you guys for tuning in on this podcast today. And this has been a great live. So listen here. We are going to send you out with Megan Thee Stallion, like a stallion. Now listen here. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell somebody that we were live Monday through Friday. We are going to be here from 5 to 7 a.m. just to give you guys the tea. And so yeah, that is actually going to be 5 to 7. Today was just a test run, and we just wanted to see if you guys were going to receive it. All right, so on that note, we'll see you on the next live.
Yeah, your last girl was cool, but she ain't doing it like the stag. She ain't doing it like the stag. And them other girls look good, but can they work it like the stag? Can they work it like a stag? Bitches money making better known as the stag. Hanging around your daddy, nigga, just like the damn a dag. Body so on point, so I be dressing like I'm swimming. Bitches get offended, can't handle all this pimping. Young Tina Snow, hard on the hoe. You can get down with this money or get down on the floor. Hey, he thought I was a singer. I told him I'm a swagger. I ain't no R&B, bitch. Nigga, come and lick the rapper.
Baby, I like the way you ride and push back on it. It lets me know you own it. Girl, let's get into it. I'm on it, so let's do it. Baby, you're a star. Love the way you move it.
Yeah, your last girl was cool, but she ain't doing it like a stallion. She ain't doing it like the stallion. Them other girls look good, but can they work it like a stallion? Can they work it like a stallion? Work it like a stallion. Work it like a stallion.
Shawty might look good, but it don't mean shit if she can't
Work it like a stallion. Work it like a stallion.
I love it when she work it like a stallion.
And heels working a wheel, whipping a foreign like a cutlass. Real big titties, big butt, bitch, young and seductive. Picture me dripping in sweat.